Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and you might recognize the title of this game, Trekking the World. I got a chance to play Trekking Through History, a more recent brand new game from the same folks who bring us Trekking the World, and so this might actually look familiar to you. I talked about how amazing this game was, how much I loved this game, how I kind of thought it was a perfect game. And I think that what happened with the success of Trekking Through History, the folks listened to all the feedback, they listened to all the comments on Board Game Geek, and they looked at the reviews, and what they decided to do was release a second edition with significant revisions. I'm talking core mechanic revisions to make this game more accessible, easier to learn and pick up from the get-go, meaning from the rule book, and then just nice components. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk about Trekking the World as a game. I'm going to show you what the game offers, but I'm also going to talk about those changes and those upgrades with this brand new second edition. And please keep in mind, there is an ongoing, right now, Kickstarter campaign that you can go and check out. I've got the link in the description below. Trekking the World is a 1 to 5 player game that takes about half an hour to an hour to play and has a nice entry-level accessibility. Now, in this game, players are traveling this massive map. They're traveling the globe, going to locations and destinations to essentially take pictures and then grab souvenirs that they get to put in this really cute suitcase down here. They might get these awesome encounter or event cards, and on their turn, they're going to do super basic. These are going to be your itinerary cards. There are 5 of these available. And then over here, as I told you, these are going to be your tours, and these are going to be your encounter cards. And the fantastically easy thing about this is they're the same cards. It comes from the same stack of cards. You just shuffle all these up, divide it in half, and then place them down in 2 separate stacks. So that means that in any given game, you're going to have maybe the Great Barrier Reef as a tour, but in a future game, you might have the Great Barrier Reef as the encounter, which is the backside, and you are not going to see the encounter or activate this in this game because it's on the tour side. So it has a lot of replayability when it comes to those fantastic location cards that, again, you're going to see out here on the map. So here's your turn. This is super straightforward. You're going to take 2 steps. So the first step is take an itinerary card and do what it says in order from top to bottom. So let's just do it. I'm super excited. So I'm going to take my little figure in the very beginning of the game. Everybody has a little figure, and you're going to put them out on one of these airplane symbols. You're going to look out here, and those are going to be your airports. And essentially, they are connected by these dots. You're just going to see those are the routes. I'm going to place my figure out, and I'm going to try to be able to reach one of these encounters. Probably not one of the locations just yet because you have to have money. This costs $6 to go and see, and essentially I will be gaining 13 victory points, and you'll see that this location is right here in Africa. So they are color-coded, they have a star in the map where they are, they have the shape of the continent. Really helpful. So I'm looking at Galapagos Islands, which is right here. I'm looking at Preikestolen in Norway, which is up here, only 1 away. And you'll see that there's 2 away from this airport. Uluru in Australia and the Grand Canyon in the US. So maybe what I want to do is try to find myself getting some cash, getting some goods. I'm wondering if Australia... Oh, it is. I'm going to try to go down here. I'm going to try to activate everything. Now we'll see if this works. So I'm starting here as the start player. And then I'm going to select one of these cards. And I was doing some super fast assessment that you were not privy to because I'm going to try to find myself in Uluru, Australia. I'm going to pick this Move 2. Now notice there's only 1 Move 2 card. It gives me cash, and it's also going to give me this bonus if I'm in that particular continent. There's a Move 3, a Move 3, a Move 1, and you can always take the card on top of the stack. So I'm taking this card. I'm going to put it right there for now. I'm going to move 2 spaces. You have to move the space that it says. You can't move less, you can't move more, unless you have these bonus. We're going to talk about this little bonus figure. If you can discard this chit, you can move 1 extra space. But right now we're just going to play by the rules, which is no fewer, no more. And you can't backtrack or go through a location that you were already in that turn. So I'm going to go 1 up to Borobudur, and I'm going to go down to Uluru. I just moved 2 spaces. Then I'm going to get my cash. I'm going to take my dial. This is my money dial. I'm just going to spin it. It's super easy. It's really nice, very user-friendly. Everyone gets a dial. Now I've got $1. Yay! And then I'm going to do the last thing, which is if my figure is in this color or this particular continent, I'm going to receive those cubes, which are souvenirs, to put into my super cool backpack. I'm going to reach all the way over here, and I want to show you this. You just keep it like this. This is just the bin with everything in it. So I've got this. I'm going to reach up, and I'm going to grab 2 of those yellow cubes, and I'm going to show you my suitcase up close. This is my suitcase, and I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to go 2, and notice I covered up a $sign. So what I'm going to do is reach in here and grab this $sign. This is a chit or a token that allows me to have this bonus that I can use in a future turn. So if I receive any bonuses through my encounters or through my itinerary cards, I can use as many as I want on any future turns, but not the turn that I receive it. So that's going to be my card. I did 1, I did 2, I did 3, I went all the way down my card, moved my trekker the exact number of spaces, gain the money. If you're in a pictured continent, gain the souvenirs. Then discard your itinerary. Done and done. Fantastic. So I've put that up there. I'm down there. Now, step 2. This is the exciting thing. Take a tour or encounter if available at your current location. So I'm going to look and I'm going to say, is there anything in Uluru? Do I have a tour that I can pay cash money for and then gain? Or can I get one of these 4 encounters? And I can get this card because I'm in Uluru. I plan it this way. There's some beautiful, wonderful text up here that you can read that's in italics and bold. And it tells you all about what this place is, what it offers, why people go there. And then you look at the bottom under that dotted line, at game's end, 1 victory point for each dollar you have, plus 1 point for each itinerary token you have. Wow, wow, wow. This is cool. This is going to stay in my player area. I'm going to put that right there in my player area. I get to have this at the end of the game, and I will score it. If I grabbed a card like the Grand Canyon, I get to keep this in my player area, and I get to use it 1 time, and then I spend it and put it up here in this encounter discard. So it's essentially a 1-time use. Okay, so itinerary tokens are going to be any of these. So I kind of showed you this before. This is the back side of the player sheet, the player aid card. You've got airplane tokens, move tokens, money tokens, and souvenir tokens. All of them are itinerary tokens, and as I said before, you may not spend them on the same turn you get them, and you may otherwise spend as many of each as you want on a turn, both for encounters and for itinerary tokens. So that's fantastic. This is going to be great. This is kind of like I'm planning for some future end of the game, which is great. I'm going to get points for having any leftover tokens, and I will also get points for any remaining money or dollars on my wheel. Okay, so that's it. All you're going to do now is do your cleanup phase. I'm going to pull this card out here. I'm going to replace that. I'm going to pull this card out here. I'm going to replace that. And now play is going to pass to my left. And the reason I've got all these little figures up here is because we're starting the game. Players are going to be able to put their figure out on any airport that they want. And players can also be in the same space as other players. You just walk right through them, or you stop in the same space as them. There is no blocking when you essentially are moving around on the board. So here it is again, player turn. It's all right here on your player aid card. And then here is how the game ends. And I want to tell you what you actually score. So at the end of a 2 to 3 player game, when any player takes their 5th tour, and this is again your tours, these are amazing. They range from pretty affordable, Teotihuacan, you can go there, and it's going to be in our North American region. You can see it's right there at that star location, so you can find it pretty easy. It's $5, but gives you 10 victory points. On the other hand, you've got, the Great Barrier Reef. It's worth 22 victory points. It is $9, but boy, do I want to work towards getting $9. I only have $1. Yeah, I moved 2 and I got $1. So I still have to get $8 before I can get this, and I might have to leave the region, but it is something that I could move kind of towards. It's kind of giving me some kind of goal or objective. In a 4 to 5 player game, when any player takes their 4th tour and they put that in their player area, you are going to look at who's got this, and essentially you are going to make sure that every player is going to get equal turns. And then you will score up at the end of the game, finish the round so everyone has taken turns, then score. And you're going to score these cards. If you have any at game end, which I have the at game end, you're going to score your encounter cards. You are also going to score your tour cards, and then you're going to look at your columns. Now, if you see here in your suitcase, you've got variety of cubes is going to give you that set number of points, and it's not cumulative. You're essentially getting 5 or 10 if you've reached that space, 15 if you have filled in all 4 of those going, and you always fill your cubes in from, yes, left to right. And anytime you cover up one of those images, you're going to be receiving that particular itinerary token. So that's going to be a score that you get at the end of the game as well. Players are simply going to take one turn, and then play is going to pass to the left, and you just continue until you trigger that game end for the amount of players that you have. And I will say that the really cool thing, one of the new features of the 2nd edition Trekking the World is the solo play. And there is a solo play here that you will have a tiny separate rule book for, and you'll have your stack of cards to play with for your solo mode opponent. And that's a feature that Trekking Through History doesn't have, but I know that they were really thinking about versatility, flexibility, and just a wide range of play with that 30 to 60 minute game in Trekking the World, particularly 2nd edition. So let me highlight some of the other features or the changes that 2nd edition made from the 1st edition for Trekking the World. One of the first things is they really cleaned up the rule book. And if you actually compare the amount of words in the rule book, they took it down by almost 1,000 words. So the actual numbers here are, first edition was 2,451 words, and then the 2nd edition is 1,647. So you've got, again, just shy of 1,000 words. They just streamlined everything. And I think it makes it so easy to access and get into, which means that the game is probably going to be played more easily, more readily, and people are just going to find it so much more fun on that first play because the rule book is just clean, streamlined, super easy to understand. Again, much like Trekking Through History, I thought that the gameplay, there wasn't a single part of the game that I didn't not understand. Like, it was just so easy to get into, and I didn't have a question about a single rule in the entire game. Another one of the major features that changed from 1st edition is something I've already talked about, which is the encounter cards. So when you go to a location, you essentially can take this card for free. It just gives you a power. It gives you, and at the end of the game, it gives you a one-time use power. It gives you a copy power or something like that. Let's just say here in Norway, it says before touring or encountering, return any 2 souvenirs to complete a 2nd itinerary. Or you could go to Niagara Falls and you just pick this up and says copy another player's encounter power. Now I have to say that the encounters are really important. It's kind of like the way you generate and you get things as you're gathering money to go and get the tours. And it makes every turn feel really like you're gaining the souvenirs down here, you're gaining the money, you're mobilizing on the map, you're gaining over here for encounters, and then you're going up and trying to nab the tours. Now, this is still a race game. That's the core mechanic that they kept. But instead of collection and racing in the first game, they have made it drafting and racing. And in this case, it's this open draft system. I think it works so well. You always have 4 options for encounters, you always have 4 options for tours, and you always have 5 for the itinerary cards. And if you can't find something in the 5 cards that works for you in some way, I don't know, because I found that, there was a variety of cash, and there's a variety of movement, and the moves are always 1, 2, or 3, and then you get $1, $2, or $3, and you get a variety of flexibility with the souvenirs you pick up if you're in that particular location. And again, you get things like grab a blue cube, which is your move or your airplane cube or your souvenir if you're in that particular continent, South America. Here, you got 2. If you're in one of those 2, you're going to get the black cube, which is all about getting more souvenirs. And then here you've got, again, 2 different colors, banners or continents, and you're going to get that particular cube. Sometimes you're going to go to one location like I did, and you're going to gain 2 souvenirs. So that's really banking. I mean, it's fantastic. And there are just so many cards here. So it's just got all these cards. I mean, it's, again, so clearly labeled, so well organized. Okay, so here are some of the other features of the second edition. In general, it's way faster to set up, has an expansion that turns it into a mid-weight strategy game, and makes it kind of like a Gateway Plus instead of just a gateway game. In this game, you definitely feel like you're traveling more than you did in the first game. It has more game-to-game variety with, again, those tour and those encounter cards, quicker to learn rules, less negative player interaction, bigger big turns. And I want to say that both of those 2 features that I just mentioned are so important. So less negative interaction. I don't like the blocking. I don't like the attacks. That's not going to be my kind of game style. So I love that that feature was addressed and adjusted. And then I love bigger big turns. So when you have a big turn, you can grab an encounter. You can essentially be grabbing these particular tiles by covering up those spaces in your suitcase with your souvenirs. You can play as many of your previously gained encounters and chits that you got for your souvenir, those itinerary tokens. And the itinerary tokens, again, give you so much flexibility. If you get the frequent flyer token, before taking an itinerary, fly to from your current location to any airport for free. Now, if you want to use an airport in the game, you just pay $1 and fly from an airport to another airport. This gives you kind of like a little bit of a shortcut. The little red running man says move 1 extra space, and you can pay 2 or 3 to move 1, 2, or 3 extra spaces. This is really cool, the money token. When gaining money from your itinerary, return a money token to gain the same amount again. So if you're saying, oh, I want to play this, I only move 1 space, which is all I really need, I gain $3. And then you pay one of those money tokens, you gain $3 more. All of a sudden, you have made $6 in 1 turn, which is kind of impossible to do unless you've got these super cool tokens. And then the last one says, when gaining a souvenir from an itinerary, return a souvenir token to gain the same number and color of cubes again. And again, you want to do that? Look at that, and turn it back in. Now I get 2 more red cubes based on where I am. It's so cool. It's so clever. So bigger big turns, less negative interaction. You feel like you're traveling. You've got so much replayability and flexibility here. There's so much to like about this. I can't say how impressed I was with this second edition and the gameplay. I love 1 to 5. I love a good half-hour, 45-minute game. And I think it's really, really strong as a 2-player game, or this 2 to 3-player game that has the same trigger for those 3 players, which is, again, getting that 5th tour. The last thing is that there are some nice improved components. I've already talked about the suitcase. It's dual layered. So when you put your cubes in here, they just fit right in. Again, it's super easy to see. I think it's so well made. And again, the design is clear. I think the cards are beautiful. I love the artwork on the front. I want to show you just a couple more that we've got that we haven't seen yet. I think they just look so nice. They have everything they need on there. There's nothing that feels confusing or weird or out of place. It's just really nice. Everything just looks really nice. So the cards are nice. I think that the itinerary cards, again, so clear, so easy to see. Again, the star really matters. It makes a big difference. I like that they added that for the location. But like the itinerary cards, great. this component here, this is fantastic. You got your thing, and look, it's like Trekking the World is on the cover. Everything just pops right back on, and it's so easy to just pop in. So you just pop all your stuff back in here, and you're like, boom, done. I bandy up all of my cards, and then it's done. Everything has a nice tray. I wanted to show you one last thing. So here is the nice insert where you've got everybody's dials, you've got everyone's suitcases, and they are even color-coded to match the little figures, which again, I think is just such a nice touch. And the figures all have different shapes. So even if it's a color-blind difference, you can actually look and see, oh, this one's wearing a ball cap. You can see the little ball cap. This one looks like they've got maybe like a little ponytail. Oh, that's pink. You can't see it. I'm on my pink screen right now. This one looks like they've got like a backpack on, which is really cute. So yeah, I mean, just loads of fun. Really, really cute. And I love these wooden meeples. They are thick, they're nice, they feel good. Everything has its own place, and it is just so, so, so easy to use, put together, set up. I mean, that just pops right back in there, and you are essentially ready to go. So that is going to wrap up my Trekking the World 2nd edition overview of what the game offers players, how it's different from the 1st edition, and why you should go and check it out on Kickstarter right now. It is live. So again, that link is in the description. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you played Trekking the World? Have you played Trekking Through History? Those are now both favorites, and I cannot wait to get both of them back out on the table soon. All right, folks, I'll see you later. Bye.